Hello and welcome to the Beauty Out of Mire channel. I'm Reverend Dr. Fidel Adabaraza, also known as Mama Rosella Miracle. And I'm so glad that you're here. And if this message blesses you, kindly like, subscribe and share it with a parent, a caregiver, a teacher, a pastor, a family member or friend who needs encouragement today. Today we begin a special 4-part series titled Beyond the Label. Seeing the child, supporting the family, releasing the potential. And this series is very close to my heart because every child is more than a diagnosis, more than a label, more than a challenge, and more than what society may misunderstand. Through this series, I want to invite parents, caregivers, teachers, faith communities, and families and society at large to look beyond labels and begin to see the dignity, needs, gifts, and potential of children and youth with neurodevelopmental disorders. We'll be reflecting on the realities of disability, stigma, caregiving, school exclusion, family exhaustion, hidden pain, and the hope of inclusive support. But above all, we'll be carrying one central message. When a child is seen, and seen rightly, supported wisely, and loved consistently, potential can be nurtured, dignity can be restored, and beauty can rise even from difficult places. Today's reflection is titled, The Child Before the Label, Seeing Dignity Before Diagnosis. One of the greatest mistakes society makes is to see a child's diagnosis before seeing the child. And we hear words like autism, cerebral palsy, ADD, ADHD, dyslexia, epilepsy, delayed milestones, intellectual disability, sensory disorder, or developmental delay. And sometimes the label becomes louder than the life. But before the diagnosis, there is a child. Before the assessment report, there is a personality. Before the therapy plan, there is a soul. Before the behavior that people misunderstand, there is a child trying to communicate, trying to cope, trying to survive, trying to be loved, and trying to belong. And this is where we must begin. Every child carries dignity. A child's worth is not determined by speech, walking, sitting still, academic performance, toilet training, social skills, independence, or how well they fit into society's expectations. A child's worth is not reduced because they learn differently. A child's worth is not erased because they communicate differently. A child's worth is not cancelled because their development follows a different path. Every child is a whole person, and a beautiful person for that matter. And one of the greatest gifts we can give children with neurodevelopmental disorders is to see them before we see the label, or before we label them. In many African families and communities, disability is still surrounded by painful misunderstanding. Some families are blamed, some mothers are accused, some children are hidden, some fathers withdraw, and some schools reject. Some churches do not even know how to include, and some relatives advise parents to deny the condition or simply discipline it out. But what if we pause long enough to ask better questions? Not what is wrong with this child, but what is this child trying to communicate? Not why is this child not like others, but ask what kind of support does this child need to thrive? Not why is this parent struggling, but how can we work with this family or this parent? You see, when we change the question, we begin to change the response and the narrative. And many behaviors that are judged harshly are actually forms of communication. A child who cries in a noisy place may not be stubborn. A child who cannot sit still may not be rude. They may be struggling with regulation. A child who does not speak may still understand, feel, observe, and connect. And a child who avoids eye contact may not be disrespectful. Their brain may process social interaction differently. And this is why awareness matters. When society lacks understanding, children suffer twice. First, they suffer from the challenges connected to their condition, and second, they suffer from the judgment of people who do not understand the condition. And at Beauty Out of Mire, we believe that every child deserves to be seen with compassion, supported with wisdom, and given opportunities to grow. For every child is beautiful and every story is beautiful. And that is why our language matters. Instead of saying this child is a problem, we can say this child needs support. Instead of saying this child is impossible, we can say this child needs an environment. But labels never become cages. A diagnosis can guide intervention, but a diagnosis must never define destiny. And a report may describe challenges, but a report cannot measure the full beauty, capacity, and purpose of a child's life. And dear parents, maybe you have received a diagnosis and your heart is still processing it. Maybe you are wondering what the future will look like. Maybe you are afraid, you are grieving, you are tired of explaining your child to people over and over again who seem not to understand you. Please hear this. Your child is not a mistake. Your child is not a punishment. Your child is not a burden. Your child is not without beauty. Your child is a person with dignity, needs, emotions, possibilities, and potentials. And know that your child is very beautiful and loved beyond what you can ever imagine. Thank you so much for watching. May God bless you, and looking forward to continue this journey with you. Please subscribe, share, and like. And let's connect again in our next episode at Beauty Out of Mire channel.